Hello, in today's video we are starting my series on restoring Stanley style bench planes. In this video series we will be restoring this number 6 for a review on how to do things on a slightly larger plane, and then we will be also working on this number 5 1/4, which is a Stanley. This one is a record, but it's basically a Stanley plane. So yeah, let's get started. In this video, this is part 1, and in this video we're just taking apart the planes and seeing what needs fixed or if anything needs replaced and so on and so forth. Here are the two planes, and we're going to start with disassembling them and seeing what's wrong or what's the issue. So I'm just going to get my flathead screwdriver and we'll start taking these apart. I'm going to start with the number 6. Now, I have taken this one apart, but I haven't taken like the chip breaker off the blade or taken the handles off or anything like that. Just literally the lever cap off and the blade assembly out. Here we go. So that's good that that's not seized up. Oh, not that bad. Rust should just buff out on the buffing wheel pretty well. Some of the plating's chipped off, but not a big deal. Blade, in good condition. The chip breaker says, oh yeah, the blade's in great condition. Just a bit rusty. Ooh, still sharp. Just got a nice little slice on my finger. The top of the blade, I noticed earlier, says Stanley, made in Canada, but the chip breaker is record. I hope this comes apart. I do notice an issue. I don't know if on the camera you can see this, but that screw is really worn out, so that might be an issue. Now, I would not recommend doing this, but just to get it loose, I'm going to take a pair of pliers and see if that'll... Nope, that didn't work. Vice grips. Can't find my vice grips at the moment. I'm back. I just clamped onto these with the vice grips, and that loosened them up just enough. Just ignore the dog barking. Annoying neighborhood dogs. Yeah, so this should loosen right up now. I'm ready to part. I can foresee that being an issue, so I do have a cap screw laying around somewhere, and I'm just going to replace it. Yeah, blade's quite nice. No chips in the blade. Seems like it was properly ground and honed, so that's not a bad deal there. I do notice this is sort of like a bedrock style frog. I am just going to separate that and see what happens. As I said, just ignore the dog. Those screws are just tight from use or misuse. Now there is a frog adjusting screw back under there, which you don't really need to loosen off. I was going to loosen it off, but right there it looked like it would work without it. Take these. Now these you do not want to lose. I did lose one once, and I found a replacement, but from an old plane that wasn't working. But still heartbreaking in the moment. Because at that moment, your plane restores over. Plane won't work without it. J panning still on the back of that, as you can see. Brass knob, adjuster knob works great. This, it's a bit bent, but nice and free. That has tons of grime buildup. I don't even want to touch that yet. Actually, yeah, I will. Try to loosen up all the gunk that's back there. Yeah, if you do a plane restore video, or not video, if you do a plane restoration, you will want to either put something over your bench or just like me, just not really care. Let's see if the totes come off. Oops. Yep, they come off no problem. Shouldn't be a problem to pop out that. and polish that up when time be. The front knob is in excellent condition. Looks like it might have been remade at some point because there's a little detail. I don't know if that's original. Just set some of this stuff off camera for a second. So it's out of my way. Take off this. Sorry for the snuffly, I just snuffles. I just sweeping up some nice pine dust, and that seems to bother me when it's in fine dust form. One of the reasons why I like doing some work with only hand tools, because you don't have that problem. So it turns out that rod for the handle has quite a bend in it. Shouldn't be a problem, just bend it back and call it a day. That's stuck in there pretty good, so I'm just going to leave it. This handle's in rough shape. I'll just scrape that off. You get it off with the side, something like this, and then just sand it and recoat it with either shellac or linseed oil. So that's the number 6. On to the number 5 1/4. This is a bit stiff. Right. So it's stiff there, as you see. This just needs buffed out. So at the moment, I'm not afraid to put a little bit of oil in there, just so I don't forget. And you just work that back and forth. Oops, don't let your oil spill. Freeze it right up. Next, I'm going to separate the blade from the chip breaker. This one's in a lot better condition. Separate that. Pops right out. That blade's in great condition also. Stanley, made in USA. Not a problem there. Yep, looks good. Now the frog in this one is quite rusty, but that can be fixed. I'm just going to unscrew this now. That just simply unscrews. Not a problem. Then again, sorry for the snuffling. Air condition, spider webs, whatever. Front tote. Comes right off again. Not a problem. That's loose, good. Now something feels funny there. Either something's bent or rusted pretty good. No, just slight bend in it, but that's it. Pretty good condition. Just needs that scraped off and recoat it. This plane, the J paning's really nice, so that should shine up like a dream. Anyway, thanks for watching. This is part 1 of many parts for restoring planes. I'm going to take you through the whole process. Nothing will be left behind, and hopefully you can restore your own plane after you watch my videos. Thank you. Have a nice night. Please comment, rate, and subscribe. It's really appreciated. I'm hoping to really boost this channel because I just want to help people with hand tools, power tools, furniture building in general. Thank you and have a nice night.